Hello, this is my second video sort of exploring this theme, and I've created the channel around called Teaching with Presence. And I kind of want to go into depth about why those words sort of resonate with me, what that may mean, teaching with presence. And for me, I kind of have this vision of that my work as a teacher becomes a spiritual practice. And sort of when I use that term spiritual practice, right, I think there's a connotation of exploring something on a deeper level. And a spiritual practice, like many people think of like having a practice of prayer, having a practice of meditation, right? Some kind of spiritual study. And what would it mean that my work as an educator, my teaching, actually becomes that moment-to-moment spiritual practice? And so it's a shift in orientation, I think, from seeing my teaching just as a job, as like work to get done. Like that's one layer of it, right? Like there's a set of things to get done. Another layer of it too is there's an impact I'm making on other people, right? And that's a big reason I think I was motivated to get into this work, and a lot of teachers I meet are motivated to sort of make a difference in the world, right? And I can see that difference that I make in the lives of my students. But what I'm talking about here is something a little bit different. Like when my teaching becomes a spiritual practice, I'm actually saying that there's a journey of my life. There's sort of a path on my life that I see myself walking step by step into a place of deeper presence, a place of deeper awareness, of deeper layers of awareness to the processes and the movements of life. A deeper awareness of the sense of stillness and spaciousness that sort of infuses this life, that we often kind of call that the spiritual dimension, right? These more subtle layers of stillness and the layer of movement, and sort of a tuned, clear movement. And so I'm walking into a journey where I'm more and more present, I'm more and more aware, I'm more and more tuned to sort of that depth dimension. And the idea of teaching with presence, the idea of taking my work as a teacher and making that my spiritual practice, is that like there's one thing to have sort of an intentional practice of deepening into spaciousness, or meditating on light, or any of the different prayer practices, right? Like that's a beautiful part of many of our lives, and I think many people who would be drawn to this channel might already have something like that in their kind of in place in their life. And then there's another way, it's kind of exploring the ways that we see work as separate from that, and inviting my work, my time in the classroom, to be like my meditation, where I'm approaching it with an attitude of humility. I'm approaching my work with an attitude of revelation, that I'm open to what is being revealed to me. Yeah, that feels right. Like I'm open to the revelation of the moment-to-moment journey in the classroom. And that is a spiritual revelation. And so as I walk my path, it's not just that I do my work and then I leave my work to do some kind of spiritual practice that supports my work, but that the actual work itself, I can tune to my classroom. I can tuned to my responsibilities with such a high level of precision and even spaciousness that makes it so that that work is my practice. The work is the deepening into more subtle layers of the divine, more subtle layers of life, however that resonates. And of course, there's difficulties along the way. That's an automatic process. And being gentle and kind of exploring the difficult moments, I think, is one of the practices. And so on this channel, if that's the vision, right? Teaching with presence, sort of what I spoke about in the last video of combining the presence practices I've learned from Thomas Hubel specifically and with the kind of passion I feel for teaching. And here I'm presenting that vision that my work as an educator actually leads me deeper into that space, that inner space of open, present awareness, of attuned, clear, deeply relational living, and an inspired, connected, and yet grounded presence. And from that place, I give my work, and through my work, I grow that place. There's sort of a reciprocal relationship between work, between teaching, and presence. So that's the vision I want to present here, and I speak about it now. I hope to go into some more depth in this channel of some of the specific practices and maybe even some stories around how I'm practicing this in my life. And I would love to hear from anyone who watches this video, who finds something in it that resonates. Yeah, feel free to leave a comment or however you want to find me. I could put my email in the description too. I would love to connect. And my vision for this is to build a community of people who are really passionate about what I'm talking about here, of making my teaching sort of a presence, a deep presence of a spiritual journey, an active step in that process. So thank you for listening, and I'll see you soon.